Good morning, everyone. I am currently in the car. It's Monday morning. It's about 7:30. I've been up since about 5:30. I have jury duty, which is great. I realise I didn't really close off the last video. There were a few snaps of the cats and things. I had a super busy week last week, mostly at the laptop, racing around trying to get errands and chores done because I'm trying to get out of jury duty, which is a bit of a challenge, but as a small business owner and someone who has no employees, so literally I can't pass the work on to anybody else, and I do have commitments with clients that I was supposed to start different projects this week. I don't really have anything formulated, like a letter or anything that can prove my case to why I can't perform my civic duty. So I have to go in, so I've got to be there at 8:30, and when I check in I need to request to speak to an officer there and have a chat to them and just determine what it is and whether or not I can get out of jury duty, because they've put me down for 6 weeks, which I may not even get called. You go today, they don't really do vetting in New South Wales anymore for jury duty, so essentially I have to go. They'll call your name out if you're needed. If you're not needed, then you waste a whole day and you go home. And then they may or may not call you back at a later stage. So I don't really know what to expect when I walk in at 8:30 in the morning. I have taken my laptop and my diary. Do I have a pen? I'm sure I've got one in the car. Anyway, maybe I don't need a pen. Yeah, you're allowed to take those devices in while I'm sitting there waiting, because if I need to do some stuff, I don't want to be sitting there twiddling my thumbs wasting a whole day. So I don't know how today is going to go. I'm a little bit anxious. I've been really anxious the last week or two because there is so much going on. I've signed up to new clients. It's a lot, right? Like, they try and compensate by saying that they'll pay you a daily rate, but it's not always about the money. It's about the workload, especially when you have signed up new clients, you've got projects and work that you want to get done. You have set goals, which is me. I have a task list where I like to set specific goals throughout the week and get them done and achieved. Makes it very difficult to do that if I do get called in, so I don't quite know what to expect today. But my week last week was really just me in the event that they do call me and I can't get out of it. They're not necessarily long days. If they do pick me, it may be Monday to Friday 10 to 4, so it's not like they will be excessively massive long days from 9 to 5 or anything, but that's a big chunk of my day when I'm working for myself. And although they'll do sort of compensate you with a wage, it's not the same. So anyway, I just have to go in, have a chat to the officer, see what they say. They may or may not be on my side, I don't know. And I just have to take it from there and see. And if the officer does not want to come to the table and help me, then I have to sit there and wait and see if they call me, and if they don't call me, hallelujah. But yeah, I won't know that until I get there. So yeah, last week was so stressful, trying to get whatever I could get done, major tasks done, signing up to new clients, just trying to really smash out a lot of stuff that I needed to get done in the event that I will lose some hours of the day if they do sign me up and I can't get out of it. So that's me. I hope everyone has had a lovely week last week. I hope everyone has had a lovely weekend. And I guess we just have to face this week with whatever's been given to us. And I'll chat to you a little bit later on in the video. I'll give an update and let you know how I went with jury duty. Crazy. Good morning, everyone. It's actually Friday morning. It's about 6 o'clock. It's quite early, and it is so hot. The humidity is so high. It's so unbearable. Because of the humidity too, my skin, I've just woken up really congested, so I've put on a hemp clay mask at the moment for my forehead and my chin just to detox it a little bit, just from being so sweaty in this hot weather. It's really been such a tropical summer here in Sydney. I think I mentioned it in a few videos back that we were really lucky because normally January is our hottest month. And there were so many days in January that were so crisp and cool. It was so nice and refreshing. But February has been so challenging. Even the days where it's dropped down to 24 degrees, the humidity has been at 100%. It has been really, really unbearable some days. And I think today is going to be like that as well. They are predicting a lot of rain on the weekend and maybe some temperature drops. Here's hoping the humidity will subside a bit on the weekend and we can be a little bit refreshed. I realise I haven't really given an update about jury duty. That was the last I chatted to you, and there's been, oh gosh, I think I've entered in a whole heap of snippets of other things in between that chat to this chat. So I'm going to keep this very short and sweet though. Because it is early. I have a meeting at 8:30 and I just want to smash out a few tasks that I need to get done for some clients before the 8:30 meeting, because then after the 8:30 meeting I do switch off. It's a regular meeting I have with a client every Friday morning at 8:30, and then after that I like to switch it off and not be on the laptop for the rest of the day. So I do want to really get on there and just get a few other things that I didn't get to finish yesterday done, so I'm not on the laptop. So jury duty. So yeah, that's the last that I chatted to you guys. So I did go to jury duty. Well, I went to the Parramatta Courthouse anyway, and I think I got there at about 8:15. So I had a pretty good run with traffic, which I'm grateful for. But of course it was me and hundreds of other people that had obviously been called for jury duty. So even though they tell you have to check in at 8:30 to then discuss whether you can be excused or whether you have to do your civic duty and do jury duty, it took forever. This was on Monday, and Monday actually the humidity wasn't too bad, thank God, because we had to wait outside. And I guess because it was early in the morning too, the heat hadn't started to develop until later that day. So the morning it was thankfully not too hot as we were waiting outside to get in, because the queue was ridiculous. There was at one point where I thought, I'm not going to sit in this, I'll wait for the queue to die down and then I'll line up, because it's not going to matter what time it is, right? Because the time is all out. But then I was just sitting there watching, and the queue was just getting longer and longer, and more people were turning up. I was just thinking, oh my God, I'm going to have to line up. So, once I lined up, it was more the queue to try and get into the courthouse was just trying to get through security, basically. Checking of bags and all that kind of stuff to get into the courthouse. So once we got in and sat down, it was probably about 9 o'clock. So yeah, it was a bit of a long wait when you've been there for so long. And I rocked up at 8:15, and there was already nearly 100 people sitting there. So I don't know what time they got there and how long they've been waiting for. But then once we got in and you went through all the different checkpoints and confirmed who you are, etc., we all got sent into a jury section. And then after that, there was a little bit of a wait. So I think by the time I spoke to someone, it was about 9:45. You were allowed to have your phone and your laptop, which I was grateful for. I didn't switch on the laptop. It was a bit awkward because of the seating, the way they had us all seated next to each other. A little bit awkward to be tapping away on a laptop. Not much privacy. But I was on my phone, and I did manage to catch up on some posting for some clients across social media platforms and just getting all that sort of stuff done. So at least I didn't have to worry about that for the rest of the day. And then by the time I got called, it was 9:45, and I was in and out in like a minute. All that wait time. So it was probably about 9:45. I then went and sat down. I got called. Sat down. Oh my goodness. And then they just said they wanted my driver's license just to confirm who I was. So I gave them a driver's license, and they said, yep, so what do you do for work? I said, I'm a sole trader. I work for myself. And she said, oh, okay, great. What's your ABN? I gave her my ABN. She looked it up, and I guess she just wanted confirmation, because as much as you try and stay off registering everything across government platforms, they have everything anyway. Maybe from an old Centrelink program I did, I'm not sure, but yeah, I don't even think I gave her my ABN. I said, do you want my ABN? And she said, no, just give me your full name just to confirm from the license. I did, confirmed a few other details, and then she said, and what date and year did you start working for yourself? And I gave the date. Well, I didn't have the accurate start date, just I had the year, and she confirmed it and said, yep, no problem, just confirming that's you. You're excused. You don't need to do jury duty. You will be excused just for a year period, and you may or may not get called again after a year. So I guess we'll just see what happens with that. I think I mentioned on Monday when I was chatting to you, it's not that I don't want to do jury duty, it's that just 6 weeks, beginning of the year is my busiest time. I think if I'd been given jury duty at like October, maybe not October, November, but I guess the courts close around Christmas. But even I guess maybe they don't have things happening in January, because even January, like if I'd been given jury duty for January, and in some part even December, it's not always, like the first couple of weeks of December are pretty flat out, but then as you get to mid-December to the end, it's not too bad. January for me is my deadest month. If I'd been given jury duty then, I probably would have just gone along with it and said, no, I'm a sole trader, but I'm happy to do it, like it's no stress, because I would have been sitting around doing nothing anyway, especially in that heat. At least I would have been in air conditioning. Although January, like I said, was not too bad. There were some days that were nice cool, but most of it was still quite hot. It is our summer. I would have been bothered by it, but to start me in March when everybody's gun-ho at the beginning of the year, I've signed up 2 new clients, which is exciting, have, just all these people who have spent the Christmas break with all these ideas that they want to, excel into the new year with, and helping them deliver those ideas. Bad time of year for me to do something like that, right? So anyway, I got out of it, so I'm thankful for that. I don't know if anyone else, especially here in Australia, has been called for jury duty and struggling to get out. You can find ways if, like 6 weeks is a long trial period. Depending on your living circumstance or personal circumstance, they can be quite accommodating. I heard a woman next to me, she was just saying because of specific life circumstances, she can't commit to 6 weeks, and they were currently trying to find her like a 3-week trial. So they do try and find ways to accommodate. They're not like, a dictatorship where they tell you, no, I'm sorry, there's no flexibility on it and you can't do anything else. But yeah, I was in and out. I was driving. By the time I walked back to my car, the cheapest car park I could find was a 10-minute walk. Yeah, I got out of it. So very grateful for that, because then I spent all my Monday night and evening catching up on quite a few urgent matters that had come in. Tuesday was absolutely ridiculous. Wednesday I got up again super early. I was up at like 5 a.m. It is a full moon, so the cats were very early risers when this is all happening, and they've been getting up really early because of the heat too. I think they want to be fed early. They want to go and get themselves organised for the morning before the sun comes up, and they find their little places and sleep most of the day in that heat. And then they sort of come back around 2 o'clock. When I say come back, most of them are sleeping in the gardens and the backyard, and some inside who are smart in the air conditioning. So they're not really going far, but they just want to have their little place, But yeah, it's just been really busy since then. Just had, I always look at things as, okay, there was a reason why I had to go, just to experience that. Even did wear me out on a Monday morning as well, but I'm glad I got out of it, because I had so many urgent things that popped up with clients, which I think gosh, if that had popped up and I had not been able to get out jury duty, that would have been very stressful for my clients, very stressful for me, trying to do that overnight time to fix stuff. So yeah, it's been a really busy week, but Wednesday I managed to take off half a day, and which you would have seen a very quick clip there. We went to the vicar at Dural. We're very satisfied with the food, actually. Maybe it was just the time of day. We've been plenty of times before and the food's actually really good there. But we're a little bit disappointed, but it could have been because it's a Wednesday. I don't know, maybe it was a different chef. I'm not sure. But don't let that be a deterrent to not go. If you live in my area or in Sydney or whatever and you're looking for a nice place to go, it is very atmospheric. And normally the food is really good, but maybe it was just the things that we picked, just wasn't really happy with it. I felt like the food had cheapened a bit, where normally it's really high quality for such reasonable prices. So that was a bit of a letdown, but anyway, it was nice to get away from the laptop, out of the area, have a little break from the routine. I haven't had a chance to do that for a while now. It's been so busy with just so much going on. I haven't had a chance to really have much of a social life, so it was nice to get out and have that break. I don't know what we're going to do for this weekend, for Friday. I believe tomorrow we are going to go to Camden Markets. We need to top up on some things. We didn't get a chance to go last weekend, so yeah, we're going to get up very early because they are predicting rain, which I think is what happened last time we went to Camden Markets, and we just beat the heavy rain. But gosh, not even 5 minutes as we were walking back to the car. When we were finished from the markets, it just started peltering down and we got in the car in time and headed home. So we're going to do that again tomorrow morning, and then I guess we'll just see what the weekend brings, and that's it. So I guess I'll just film whatever snippets I have. I probably won't chat to you again. Maybe I will, I don't know. As I said, I promised an update on Monday and I just haven't had a chance to actually pick up the phone and chat, so that's why I'm doing it now. So I hope everyone's been having a great week. I can't believe that it's Friday already. What have you got planned for the weekend? I hope it's exciting, and I guess I will chat to you soon. All right. I'll say ciao for now because I have a feeling that I'm just not going to pick up the camera this weekend. Or I will, but I probably won't chat to the camera. So I'm going to say ciao for now.